Stuck 34 asked on the 1st of September this year, I have a dinghy park with approximately 150 craft. I need to have a pop-up box to display the berth number, the owner and the craft allocated to that berth. Pop-up text animation displays this, but I would like to show the results of the mouse over effect in more detail, eventually adding more data to the mouse over effect. I have currently created 150 layers, which is huge. 150 layers numbered per berth, and triggered each layer to display when the mouse over a relevant berth number. Is there a better or more efficient method I could use? The current trial version can be found here. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you. I suggested another approach using JavaScript. This method only required one pop-up layer, and the pop-up layer's content could easily be amended within the text file like Notepad or Notepad++. Okay, so I'm going to show you this site now. Control copy. I'm just going to do it from there, can't I? And this is the site, and it's got this mouse over effect. And as you mouse over, this information here changes. So that if I mouse over that, not even a mouse over, see, it's more of an on-click. That's a mouse over. That's a mouse over. That one I don't know. What I don't like is this. When you move the mouse over this button, you actually get the text cursor as it goes over the text. If I click on that, I'm not going to mouse over. I wouldn't suggest using mouse overs because mouse overs don't exist in a mobile environment. So you're better off on click, and it tells you each one. I don't know what this 074 is available. It's probably just telling you that there's a berth that is available. So that's what he was doing, and it's so you click the berth numbers to see the details of the member of the craft. So this is berth 1. Its owner is Martin Pickersgill, and he's got a strike 16 dinghy. Similarly, this is berth 02, whose owner is Peter Stockton, and he's a dart 15, etc., etc. Okay, so we've looked at that, and then I'll just move down here a bit, and this is my reply. I stuck, I don't know. Here's how I'd go about it. Just one pop-up layer and some JavaScript, but it's worth the effort, as once you've set up, you'll not need to reopen the Xara file and republish. Just amend the text file and upload it. Right, so that's the link that I've put. This is my suggestion, and only these first 6 buttons work here. But if you click on them, berth 1 comes up, berth 001, owned by Martin Pickersgill, who has a strike 16, and it has an image of a strike 16 dinghy. Similarly, if I click, not mouse over, if I click on berth 002, it's owned by Peter Stockton, who has a dart 15, so on and so forth through the berths. As I say, only those first 6 work. These don't work at all. So how do I go about that, and what's the advantages? Well, first and foremost, one of the advantages are that you don't have to have 150 pop-up layers, which would become very difficult to work with, and every time you amended just one of the layers you'd have to republish it again, and with 150 pop-up layers that could take some time. The other thing I've found is if I'm in Firefox here, by the way. If I right click over an image and say, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, there, view image info, which is what I like in Firefox. It comes up with this list of displays of the images that are loaded, and to start off with, right, you've got this home button off, home button over, members off, members over, racing off and over, going on down like this, and the same with the social media ones. And then there's the background image, and then you've got these buttons here, and every time like this you have an awful lot of images. So I'll go on through quickly, and I don't know what all these images are for either. They could be done if you just named the image and replaced it. There seem to be endless amounts of these images and more buttons as well. So I've got to the end, and I've nearly got to the end there. Yeah, so I've got to the end there now, and you can see that that's an awful lot of small images of just 1 kilobyte in size that you have to download as you load it. So let's close that, and I'll pause for a minute. So returning to the example website that I gave, where we could just click around various things like that, using this JavaScript to do load the information. If I right click over this and here go view image info, and I'll just pull that down a bit, and just push that right up there, right, and you've got that background image of the beach. You've got the image of the boat, and it says it's called birth PNG, which is used all over the website, so it doesn't make multiple images. Similar one, that is just a mouse over effect. This one is just that shadow here. That one's the strike 16, and that one is just a close icon that's up here. So you can immediately see that there's far less calls to be done. Not only that, it only calls the one image. I'll try and explain that a bit more. So here's the test file I created using a navbar and 3 pop-up layers. There's the navbar and 3 pop-up layers. And if I just click over this one, view image, you can see that it's got these images needing to be clicked each time, and finally it's got these 1, 2, 3 images that are already being loaded, and if I click on them they click fine. But the important point is that view image info shows you that these images are being loaded from the pop-up layer from the outset. the fact that all the assets of the pop-up layers all have to be loaded from the outset on a page load. So if you have 150 pop-up layers, that's a lot of loading to get your page finally rendered. Here's a working example of the site that loads 50 pages with images into a single pop-up layer. There's no Xara navbar. That's the first thing to select. There's no navbar, and only the pop-up content is loaded when a button is pressed, not before. And if I click that one, it pops up here with record 002, Chris Rea, born 4th March, of Italian Irish descent, raised in Middlesbrough. His best record, Road to Hell. And this is the URL of that image. Similarly, I can go to these here, and they just load up. And if I go to here, we've got this idiot. So you can see how it goes. Right. Now if I then just go and put this to the front, pull this down a bit, I have this one here just to be able to click on view image info like that, and you can see that on that page all that's being loaded is the background image. That's said is called background, but I don't know, it's just a mouse over effect, which is tiny. That's the default JPEG, which I just used to link to other images, to file, to find all the images. We've got this border one, which is just that one round here. You've got this Pink Floyd album there, and the closed PNG item. And that's all that's loaded on when that page is loaded. So I think you can see that it's quite a lot better. So what I'll do is I'll end this video here, and if anybody wants to know how to recreate it, how to do it, then I'll do further videos on it. I'm just going to pause this. It's just one more one I want to show you. Okay, this is just a final one to show another method of using it. Somebody, I can't find the original post now, asked on Talk Graphics how to do a similar thing on I think they call them a yearbook, and it's this time you've got images here, and you can click on those, and over you get this pop-up, single pop-up again, which just says Egg Bram and I Live Forever, look, and just tells you to do that. I can click on that, and it brings up various images. So that's another way of doing it, and it's very quick, and it's quite easy to change these things. This whole paragraph here, loads of paragraphs rather than just a line. Loads another paragraph, loads another paragraph, and again you just open the text file in Notepad or Notepad++, change the content of that text or amend the content of that text, and republish that text file, that JS text file, and away you go. Anyway, as I say, if anyone's interested, I'm quite happy to do a few videos to show anybody how it's done. And I must also state in this that Acorn was very helpful in showing me how to get a lot of these things working. But here we go. Let me know if you want to carry on, and I'll do another video or several videos of how it's done. This is Egg. All the best. Bye.